how it's done. And make some noise for Molly Gross.
We're on a military base. I've got to do a couple announcements really quick. So first of all, due to the sequestration, there's been a couple cutbacks. So I will only be doing half of my jokes, and there will be no punchlines. Okay, so if you don't get a joke, it's not my problem. Write your congressman. Okay, now, also, I know that they advertise this show for mature audiences. It's like, what does that mean? Because if you were really mature, you would not come to one of my shows. But that's fine, that's okay. So my manager and MCCS wanted me to read a little disclaimer to you before I start. So if any of these topics or words are offensive to you, you may want to get up and leave now, okay? And not all of these will be discussed, and these are in no particular order. Are we ready? Feces, farts, camel toes, ovulation, taint and balls, pubes, annoying civilian assholes, meconium grandmothers, Asians, global warming, homosexuality, recycling vaginas, not recycling vaginas. There should be a comma there. Okay, grammar's important. Foreign animals, anuses, smelly old people, bitch-ass mother-in-laws, cancer, AIDS, fucking with pets in the room, theme parks, and Botox. Are we good, people? Who knew that there were so many horrible people in Beaufort? But you know what? I gotta tell you, I'm from the South, so I'm just loving it being back home, people. I ate my weight in grits today. It's fine. You know what? I live in Los Angeles now, and people that don't live in Los Angeles think that it's all glamorous and awesome, like that I walk out my door and I'm hanging out with Josh Hutcherson and Tatum's Chanums, or, okay, what is his name? Is he a Tatum's or a Chatham's? What is it?
Channing.
Carol Channing. Okay, Carol Channing. But here's the truth. So my husband and I needed pillows the other day, and so we went to Big Lots. And that might be my problem, because I doubt Channing Tatum's is hanging out at Big Lots. But anyway, so we go to Big Lots, and I don't know about you and your husbands, but do you guys fight over who gets to push the cart? What's that about? Like, do you do that with your girlfriend? So it's like, no, and like, he wasn't going for the cart, he wouldn't touch it. I'm like, what's your problem? He goes, Molly, that cart was a homeless person's house last week. Anyway, I love being on the air station, y'all. It's that uniform with that one zipper going. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all call them bags or something. I think it looks like a baby onesie. I call it a mansie. What's underneath? That's what I want to know, because I'm old school. I'm hoping there's a pair of silkies. Now there's some in here. Now y'all know that this is military wife comedy, right? But it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And you know what? I feel for y'all. I really do, because my husband lived down here for 4 years, and I know how hot ass it can be. We call that swamp ass. He said there was a ritual he did every morning. I said, what is that? He said, I had a gallon of Gold Bond. You just get up every morning, pickle your balls, honey. Pickle. I got some balls here, you guys, so that you got something to pickle. Pickle or play with.
Where's our guys at?
Uh-oh. Pickle it, honey. Ladies, y'all got to watch them with those. So we're on the airplane flying over. And this lady totally betrayed us, y'all. She writes this article. Okay, y'all got to tell me if I'm being a bitch, but I'm just going to say it like it is. So here's this woman, and she said that she's got this new disorder where she got so paranoid about finding a lump in her breast that she was giving herself up to 50 self-breast exams a day. She didn't get caught till her husband walked in on her. Now, y'all, is it just me? Or is this woman trying to blame cancer for her touching herself? Now, that's shitty. And here's the worst part. She's trying to claim it's a new disorder. She got something wrong with her. And that's the last thing I need is my husband to read this article. Next time he's all touching up on his balls and be like, no, Molly, I got the disorder. I can't. Is there anybody from the Recruit Depot here? Honey, I could spend all day. Just, can I come over tomorrow with a sweet tea and watch those butt cheeks PT? Now, I know that those mosquitoes are nasty. I got you some Skin So Soft. Am I right? You need it? Here you go. I didn't know you were going to get gifts, but that's how I play. All right, now, is there anybody here going through their spouse's deployment? Oh, my God. Okay, y'all, let's put our hands together. Thank you. Getting up and getting dressed today. Am I right? I remember on my husband's first deployment, there I was, eating raw cookie dough from the bag, hitting on the toothless bagger at the commissary, buying all kinds of stuff I did not need on QVC. Yo, that was my first day. That was my first day. So I got you some cookie dough mix. So who's going through a deployment right now? Hello? This lady right here in the stripe on the corner. Can you give that to me?
Yep.
Honey, mix that shit up and eat it. Now, I want to know if anybody here came with their surrogate spouse. Do you know what that is? You two, come up here right now. I'm not going to bite you. Just come on up here. Now, here's the deal, y'all. This is what happens. There's your best friend, but then there's your surrogate spouse. And what a surrogate spouse is when your husband deploys and her husband deploys, and shit gets weird because y'all become married now, am I right? So let me ask you a question. If she's got food in her teeth, will you tell her? Yeah. That's a good friend. Now, if you call her at 1 in the morning, because y'all can't sleep, and you've been talking for 2 hours on the phone and you got a pee-pee, will you just go ahead and just pee-pee right there on the phone? Have you ever thought that someone was your friend and you could pee-pee while talking on the phone to them, and then it gets really awkward, and you're like, and they're like, what are you doing? You're not in the bathroom. No, I'm watering the plants. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's the deal. I got y'all a romance novel to read. This shit's steamy, I'm telling you. This is worse than my disclaimer, but let me give you a little taste. Ever since he was turned, FBI sexy special agent Ty Duncan has been on one mission, bringing rogue vampires to justice and taming the wild women in the town. I'm on this. If you're not gonna read it, come at the end and trade it for one of my books. You're on it, girl? Okay. And here's 2 condoms. Because let me tell you why. When your husbands get back, they want to know that you're married to them again. Am I right? Because shit gets crazy. Okay, so here you go. Thank you, ladies. Nice to meet you. Where are my moms at? Okay, because I knew there was some moms, because the rumor is that your PX is always at a pregnancy test. Is that right? Okay, so my surrogate spouse has 3 under 4. And her husband was deployed for a week, and she called me, she said, Molly, I rolled up into that CDC this morning looking like Charlie Sheen on a bender, honey. I said, that's all right. Okay, where's my mom? Woo! I got some rubber duckies. Is anybody pregnant right now? Come up here right now. Who is that? I need one person. Here she comes, pregnant ass.
Oh, yes.
Oh, there's 2 of you? Well, I only have one of this, so y'all don't have to fight.
We share.
Oh, will you really? I got you a drool sergeant. Yeah. How cute is that?
You can have it.
Y'all are precious.
Your baby's coming in a week.
Oh, yeah, you guys are so sweet. Thank you for your service. Look at that. Well, I'm so thrilled, mothers, because my husband and I just found out that we are expecting our first baby. I mean, we really just found out. MJ from MCCS backstage goes, Molly, how far along are you? I said, I don't think you understand. When I left Los Angeles yesterday, I was not pregnant. But I got on this base and someone gave me 2 tickets to the Marine Corps ball and I looked down and I was totally pregnant. That's how it works out. I'm just kidding. Have you ever noticed that when you meet a Marine mom, if she introduces her kids to you, she doesn't tell you their names, but it's like this. My 10-year-old, now that's my pre-deployment baby. The 9-year-old is my reunion surprise. And the baby, my husband calls him a negligent discharge. This baby is the Marines started rolling their sleeves back up, baby. You know what I'm talking about. We're older parents, though. We're older parents. We just had another wedding anniversary. We've been married for 10 years. Thank you. But like in military years, it just means 5. Am I right? So it's like not that shocking. But anyways, because we're older parents, we decided to get the genetic testing because we're cousins. No, just kidding. But you know, everything's fine. Like everything is fine, but it's like so fascinating what they can tell you nowadays. There's all these tests. And some people are like, oh, those tests aren't real, those tests aren't real. And I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, the test said, girl, you do not suntan, and there is nothing we can do with your hair. I said, this shit's real. This shit is real, this shit. And so, but it's the stuff that like you had no idea about that starts to freak you out a little bit. Like, okay, so my husband, who's like this lean green Marine, carries the obesity gene. And I know that this may come as a little shock to some of you, but I carry the gene for mental illness. So the baby will be healthy, but it'll also be fat and crazy. So we did what everybody does when you know that it's time to start trying to get pregnant. We got our iPhones out, because you know they do everything now, including telling you when to ovulate. So we had our iPhones out, and I kind of think that it was just an excuse for my husband to like bring the iPhone in the bedroom so he could check the